Guys, this might be one of the best decisions ever made by Kaizer Chiefs. Like literally one of the best things and in terms of Kaizer Chiefs saying, okay, this is what we're going to do, and it's something that I feel like it's working for us. So recently we've had a few young players being loaned out, for certain kind of things. Yes, I know Abukabelo Nkwesa is still at the club. Naledi Hlongwane is still at the club. But we do have other youngsters who have managed to get a loan out, which obviously you might think that is a bad move. But definitely I feel like it's something good. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. So we have Uvike Mkawana, we have our offense, Hosana, Swiso Timba, Mangoba Ozo Emena, Nkosana Mbutu. I feel like the list goes on. There's about 8 or 9 players, some of them. I forgot the names because Zangbazi. But those youngsters, so far, Ngashuguti, most of them that were loaned out are the youngsters who managed to win the league last season. But yeah, definitely, those are the players. So now we talk about, how and why we decided to loan out those youngsters instead of like saying, okay, we've won the league last season. Let us just continue. The DDC Premiership, I feel like it's that. And then why are we not like taking the same players, using them again to make sure that we win again? Because definitely, if we've managed to win with that squad, then it shows which we have a capable squad and we need consistency. Now, here comes the decision that was made by Kaizer Chiefs. They decided, no, let's just take those players, Spallone, out to some of the other teams. Now, this is interesting because most of those players, they're not just loaned out to another second tier division or another Motsipe Foundation sort of like competition, but they're playing the senior level of competition. Now we've had a lot of youngsters not getting this opportunity, but then we managed to take them and then spalete to the senior level, which is continuously in some of them they struggled. We saw, players like Sabelo Hatebe, your Hippie Mashianes. Yeah, you saw like a lot of youngsters, guys. I do not want to go on with the list because it's a lot of players who we feel like, okay, team about to promote her, and then they got to the senior level. Things did not just go according to plan. So let me just quickly touch on what Coach Vela said, and then we will take it from there. So this is what he's saying. He says, I think with the boys, we won the league. Who won the league? What is there for them? They need to go out there and face different challenges to gain more experience. Also, the 2 players who did well were promoted to the first team, Njabulo Hlongwane and Tulani Mabaso. So ultimately, you have multiple players who are out and you have a new team in the middle of the season and you don't have enough time to work on it. However, it's a work in progress. I think we are doing well in promoting the players, and winning the league last season was the cherry on top. It's not always about winning the league, but the main thing is to see those players going to the next level. Ushenege coach Vela Kumalo. Which for me, guys, I feel like this is one of the best decisions ever. Njengoba ngishilo, if those players they get to be promoted without firstly getting, like proper game time from the senior level, like proper exposure, when they get to Kaizer Chiefs senior team level, sometimes they struggle. Look at, where our Abachita, where are they currently? Because remember, we have a lot of players. Even Tone Jansen was a player who we thought, okay, definitely Mfana is going to perform, but he did not get that chance. Wahamba, some loaner out, and then Temaga figured he was not convincing. So if we jumped to the conclusion to say, okay, let's just bring this player in, and then later on we'll regret and say how this player was promising on the TDC side. what is happening with him now. Look at your Samgelo Zwane. You understand? So I feel like Mina, this is one of the best decisions because it is helping and also it's rooting out the problems that we have within the club. Because let's say we bring in a player like Umfundo Vela, he starts to play, he was performing the best player. Uthathe yonke into ku-DDC, the best player of the season, lokhu nalokhu nalokhuya. And then when he gets to senior team, performing the way we thought he would perform. Now we will be blaming him, but let's be honest, we did not firstly take the necessary steps or precautions to make sure Utumfana does have the mentality to handle the level of the senior team. Because at the end of the day, we might say a senior team is just a senior team, but it's not the same thing, guys. It's not the same thing. Playing on the DTC side or as juniors is not the same as seniors because the competitions, it's different. It's a very tough environment. You're playing up against some of the world best players, more experienced players. Just imagine a young player playing Nabo CBC Lapayana. You can see that guy has a lot more experience than our young stars. So another example I wanted to make is with Aiden McCarthy. When Aiden McCarthy got promoted, big name Kulumizining, time Fana is this and this and this and that. Khona lokhu kungasijabulisi, which obviously I was there. Nami, I was one of the people who said, no guys, I love the player, but there are certain things I feel like he should be fixing. Because number one, Umfana Mega Slow had that. He was slow, let's be honest. He was slow, very, very slow. And also in terms of decision making, he was poor, guys. Let's be honest, he was poor. He was not too sure in terms of what he So I think with us bringing him to the senior level and then some push it to our reserves, same thing that we're doing into Nadi. I think it helped a lot. Saz Guti, he's not just sitting, but he's also getting game time, unlike other players who I can mention, players like Abohepe Mashiane. Those guys are not getting even game time, and it becomes frustrating, you understand? So I think this one or this route that we are using currently is one of the best routes that we should have taken a long time ago. And I see a lot of progress in terms of us using this system rather than to just take the young stars because players are not the same. There's a young star ozomfaka ehlathini and that player is quick to adapt, asheshe abone, asheshe hlakaniphe. And then there are those ones that needs time, to work on themselves. As Coach Vela said, Uti Naledi and Tulane have been promoted, even though I remember people saying Uti Tulane no Naledi have not yet signed professional contract of the senior level. Well, I don't know guys, but for me that's not what I heard. What I heard is the fact that those two players have been promoted and they are part and parcel of the senior team. That's why we get to see them being selected for matches and stuff like that. Not to say Uti other young stars, let's say for example players who have never been to the senior team, like let's say for example Nkosana Mbotu, who's playing on the DDC side. With Nkosana Mbotu, he cannot come to the senior team and perform on the PSL level because of that is not the case. If the coaches decide and they feel like, okay, we can use him, they are allowed to do so because the rules, they allow that as long as he has a contract with Kaizer Chiefs. Yes, he's not using a professional contract yet, but the contract that he currently has does allow him to be able to say, okay, na chance tola. Same thing that happened with Takalana Mazamba. Takalana Mazamba, guys, is a goalkeeper that he is. He doesn't have a senior contract as of yet that I know of. If he does, I will let you know. But Mbonile besimthatha sihamba naye ku-CAF. So definitely that is something. Also, I remember this guy engembona ku screen, Kabelo Nkwesa. He's another youngster who I feel like as a left back he's going to give us a lot, but nah, he doesn't have a senior contract. I'm not too sure. Oh no, I think Unayo. Let's just leave this one. I'm not too sure, but I think Unayo. So there are a lot of players. There are a lot of players. Mangoba Ozo Emena, Kosanambutu, those young stars. If the coaches decide, no, we want to use them, they can be used without any problems because at the end of the day, they are part of the team. So it will depend on okay njengoba sikusebenzisa, are we using you regularly, sicala ngawo ama-games, sidlala ngawo each and every time, or certain things are happening so that way maybe they can negotiate with okay, maybe let's just give you a professional contract so that you can be able to continue playing for the senior level rather than to play at the C level, because on the senior level obviously you have more benefits, you get more money, isn't Ozako, they are more like you are taken more seriously, you understand, you are more of a professional football player rather than playing on that other side which you tend to be taken more of like an amateur kancane, sort of, to speak. Sorry to say it that way, guys, but it is the fact and it is how it is. So with what Kaizer Chiefs is doing, as I've said, I feel like this is the best route for us, making sure we get those players out there. And yes, I'm not saying this thing is not going to have its own problems, because at the end of the day, it's not a player still loan out. Let's say, for example, we take out Nadil Hlongwana, scam sign a professional contract, sim loaner out. Afika kuleyo team adlala kuyo, afika perform. For example, Kolani Kosa is performing where he is. Simthatha simbuyise Nashorena makafika lana Kaizer Chiefs, and then he struggles. Why? Because things are different. The environment, how we play, the system, like there's a lot of factors that tend to go into this. But so far, I feel like this route that we're taking is very good. Yes, it's not going to be Joe Shido. It's not going to be every player that is going to come in and then avele abim mfana. Sometimes singamthola umfana simfake and then he doesn't give us the best. But with time, for example, same as Aiden McCarthy, some niggas Carty, and look at him now. You understand? So these are the kind of things that I feel like definitely they tend to do a lot more for the team rather than to say, as in, it's done, ishayile. But anyways, these are my thoughts, guys. What are you guys thinking in terms of this? Do you also feel like what Kaizer Chiefs is doing is a good idea and definitely is helping out the team, or do you wish you would, those players you just babafake nje bangene isuke nje esikhaleni? Well, I believe this is it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you later on with something new, hopefully. If not, remember, we are 2 days away from the game of Eastern Bush FC, and we need to make sure that we pay sweet revenge to those guys. Well, I believe this is it, Buffett. As I've said, I hope to see you later on. Peace. Don't forget to leave me your comments, and also look like a video Buffett too. And vote, but the likes are not there yet.